And welcome to episode 53 of Snap on This, a Marvel Snap podcast. This week's secret homework, watch the first episode of Eyes of Wakanda. I'm your host, LaurenWhatevs, here today with my usual lovely, delightful favorite co-hosts. First up, Raye. How was your week in Snap? And keep it snappy.
Okay, so in contrition for last week's self-indulgence, I will do a normal ass week in Snap, no flights of fancy. We start off this week, I did finally play enough to reach infinite without, super trying hard, and, I crossed the line with, safeties, or the most recent iteration I had of safeties flex deck, which was fun. I liked because as Kitty Pryde, I love that Elektra is having, some relevance with all the black cats and whatnot running around. That's been real fun. A lot of us have been sitting on Elektra variants for a long time, just waiting for her day. And it's fun, and it has Elsa, which I love. I'll share the deck. There's a lot to be fun. Safety is also a Stardust Truther, so that's there. Useful. What was a bit of a bummer for me is that it does have Mercury Cannonball, which is very useful, but it's just it's not fun for me while everyone else is doing it. It's everywhere right now. And I don't want to be not like the other girls or anything. It's more like I can't handle my own medicine. When I started playing back before the Widows got nerfed in the before times. It was so fun to double Widow people and be doing all these shenanigans with Werewolf. And then everyone started doing it to me, and I'm like, well, this is no fun. I don't like it. I like it if only I do it. Only I should get to drive on the roads and do the things. So nobody else. So yeah, it's just not as fun for me to do right now to people because, it's happening to me. Anyway, so once I got to Infinite, I set that aside, and then we had a bit of a dip, and that it started. Snap was just being a real bummer. First I went to report someone's username, which I've never successfully completed the whole process of doing that.
Yeah,
but I've attempted maybe 2 to 3 times ever, despite probably more people deserving it. But it's just one of those days, and it was a joke sexual assault threat, and it was that's not cool. And so I go to click on report, and then it's okay, first we need you to type out whatever thing you found extremely offensive. Just go ahead with your own fingers, put that to the page, because it's not the simplest thing ever. I know as a programmer to just grab that. No, type it in. Then we would like a paragraph explaining why this thing is offensive, which it's there are jobs, there are people who major in the art of various cultural sensitivities and things, but it's is it really, do I really need to explain? Do you really need me to explain to you why I don't enjoy in my fun time, running into this? So I just gave up because they just had me in that I wasn't going to type this out. I just wasn't going to do it right then. So I left that, and then a while later, I was let me fix my problem, because Lauren gave me a code for Season Pass, and I know it went through because I can't purchase it in the web shop anymore. It only shows the super premium, but it never went through to my account. I'm okay, finally I'm going to submit something to help and get this resolved. So I go to help, but then because I opened this report a player name and then never resolved it, it won't let me do anything. I can't cancel out of this request. I can't start a new one. My only options are, what is the name and why did it offend you? It's like,
yeah, I had the same thing when I tried to report a name. I had some other bug that I had been trying to report, or like some other thing I had been in the middle of reporting probably more than a year ago, and it seemed to think that I was still on whatever the same grievance was, and like I had given up on that one clearly without getting it over the finish line. So yeah, this seems to happen. Sorry, continue.
Right.
Sorry for
no, but exactly. That's what I'm saying. And it's like this is happening where it's like, and it's like, how much later are you expecting me to remember the exact spelling of like a name I saw once? Like, it's over, it's done, close it out. And I couldn't do anything else, and I was just like, okay. So like I closed out the game then, and then the next time I tried to get in the game, I didn't have anything I was jazzed to play. And I get into a game, and before I could even go to mute them, because they pretty much like auto-mute everyone usually pretty immediately. Before I could even do that, they just like spam dumped like a whole bunch of like offensive mean emotes, like, or emotes that are meant meanly. Like what? Like based on nothing, like literally nothing. The game just started. I hadn't even time to mute them yet. And it's like, it feels like I said no flights of fancy. Okay, but like it does feel like it's like I was going to like a Snap support group. Like I was excited in my busy life to finally have some time for Snap, for a card game, because I love card games. I love cooking decks. I like playing. It's fun to have one that's digital and you can play fast. And it's like, I'm going into a support group and it's like, hey everyone, I'm so happy to be here. I'm trying to like fix my relationship with the game. Just do what's fun for me. I'm just here to have some fun. I'm just excited to see everyone here. Our time, it's all we have, right, in our lives. It's the most precious thing. So, in our free time, we should really take the time to do what brings us joy, rather than what tilts us. So with that said, happy to be here. Let's play a fucking game. And then I look up and it's just like, it's the Blob avatar with the suspiciously white fluid leaking from his eyes, just like, I hate you and I hope you die. It's just like, what did I do to you? I just want to play a game. And some people, it's just like that's how they hit life, just pure hatred for everyone and everything they see immediately based on nothing. Oh, and I was just like, close out the game. You're done for the night. I didn't come here to be hated upon. I didn't come here to be spit upon. All right. But then we tried to correct because we had a podcast coming up and we couldn't just be like, got tilted out of the game this week. So I went to Cook with a Nightmare. So that was just another card that I've been interested in playing for a while. And I fell into the Nightmare trap. When I first got Nightmare and I was playing with them with Agatha and stuff, the -1 didn't bother me. -1 power, so what? If I win the lane, I don't care if it's by 1 less power. I listed on the podcast all the reasons why it didn't bother me. But then it's what ruins, all good relationships. The one thing that you just can't let go. You're like, okay, but it doesn't feel neat, does it? It doesn't feel tidy. It feels like it's tidy deck builder. I just have answers built in because nobody likes to see an unsightly -1 on your side of the board, right? You just want to clean it up. Yeah. You just want to seriously it. You just want to carnage it.
Wouldn't you like it to be a positive number, like a 4 or a 5 or something? You paid 3 for it.
Exactly, right? And a little effort, you could turn it into something more. And it's so I kept trying to find answers for that, but my dream had been to do a War Machine thing because I wanted to play Infinite. Specifically, the whole dream, comboing with Nightmare, is that I remembered how fun it is when you take an Infinite and you're like, okay, don't change who you are at your core. Stay that 620. But, what if you try out some new things, some new clothes and stuff? And it's oh, that is fun. A 620 of many other things is so fun. And that was the dream. And I wanted to do it War Machine style. I didn't want to do a Sauron thing. No, that's basic. So I at least want it, and War Machine is fun, Infinite is fun. So I was trying for that, but then I kept leaning into trying to find answers, which starts taking you on a nihilist directions and stuff. And I don't know. I ended up building something. And it wasn't like fun because I never wanted to play Nightmare in it. Because like it's just better if I got War Machine. Then I didn't have to worry about like what all these things are becoming. And there is the change when I were talking about, they made a new animation where it'll ghost over each card with the card that it's being overwritten with. But then it like kind of disappears, like the image. So it's not like useful.
That's what it's always done. So they have that in the patch notes that like it'll show the ghost image of the card that it transformed into. And so I was like, oh, that will make him so much more, I don't know, so much better to play as, because it stinks. He transforms your whole hand and you have to tap into every single one of them. But I've tried him since the patch and it's exactly the same. So
yeah. Okay. I didn't know if it was new.
No.
Yeah. I didn't even get time to see them all. By the time I've been like, okay, what is that? Okay, no, it's Khonshu. And then it's like, it's done. It's over. Like I missed all the rest. I got to click on them. I'm just like, hold on. Normally I play really fast on my turns, but now I got to read like 6 cards. Okay. So that was kind of a bummer for me because it's like I failed in my mission, which was to have fun with Infinite and War Machine and Nightmare. And it was not doing that. But then we end in triumph because I was like, oh, hey, wait a minute. What about, I forgot. We got like Kid Omega and my Tall Geese deck, which is my Destroyer deck. I'd meant to play around with that because it'd never been quite right since Electro got buffed to 3/4, because that means he didn't die to Lady Deathstrike, and a lot of it was like ramping Electro to Lady Deathstrike. That was a lot of the fun. And so I hadn't been able to, if I take out Electro and I don't base it around like a lot of stuff being destroyable and stuff, it breaks the soul of the deck. So like I was trying to keep Electro in there, but it'd been awkward. But like Kid Omega, all right, was finally the right answer. Because while you could Electro, Lady Deathstrike, you could definitely Kid Omega Electro, as an option. Since this is a Nimrod deck, you know what I mean? Obviously, that's just the obvious Kid Omega thing to do. And this let me put Shuri back in the deck, who is in the original deck, but had been removed due to other stuff. But like this brings back even more of the soul of the deck, because you're usually either making a giant Nimrod or you're making a giant Destroyer. And either way, you're making a giant fucking robot. And it's like, this is what I wanted to do. This is what this deck is about. Giant robots exploding everything. Those who see a Gundam shall not live to tell about it. Okay, so, yeah, so I fixed some other things. That's back in. Wolverine was back in and been trying Bucky. And now it's really fun for me again. So, that's what I've been playing lately. Oh, I updated the name of the deck. I try to switch every time it goes through a major change. I try to pick a new Gundam. Now it's Wing Zero.
Ah, well, I'm glad you found something that you're having fun with. It's always nice when you can revisit a beloved deck that maybe hasn't been working for a while.
Yeah.
Ben, how was your week in Snap? And keep it snappy.
My week in Snap was pretty good. A bit light on the Snap. I think it was is Sunday when they have the hot location, or what? Like there's the one that comes. There's the one that's after the new card. So like you have your one day to play the new card, and then on Wednesday there's one, and then the other one always slips my mind, sneaks up on me. So on Sunday I had a truly, truly rough session of Marvel Snap on the ladder, where like I just had to walk away because I was just like losing 8 cubes that I should have been retreating from. But I was like, I gotta fix this, but like that's not how you fix it.
No.
So I was like, take a step back. I'm not even going to tell you what I was playing because I think the deck is good. I think I was just not making good choices, but I don't want you to associate that story with that deck. But yeah, just play smart and do smart things. So I did eventually decide, like, just take a step back. So I did that. I've still been like playing dailies and things, but I'm trying to think of what might be a new fun deck to build. Maybe I don't know what's planned. I'm not assigning secret homework this week, but if I were assigning secret homework this week, I would assign us a deck building thing, and that would be a fun excuse for me to build a new deck that I could get excited about, because I usually do get excited when we do the deck building secret homeworks. Like, I can't help myself. I want to make it a real deck, and then I find a thing I like, and then I start doing that. But what else did I do while I was taking a lighter Snap week? Oh, well, this is going to come as a huge shock, but I played some Hades 2 on stream, and Wombat Combat has now seen me get night 1 clears 4 times. Wombat Combat has watched Grandfather get his ass handed to him on night 1 4 times. It's happened 6 times. Last night, with nobody watching, I did finally get what my new goal was, which was back-to-backs night 1 and 2. Now that I've done that, I'm like, well, the logical thing is to like try to make a streak of it. Anywho, I don't think I hit affiliate on Twitch, but for some reason it's letting people subscribe to me now. So Wombat Combat and Safety Blade have little badges that indicate that they are founding ground floor Benjamin Roller subscribers, and I have no idea what that gets them, but I felt flattered and it tickled me, and I was like, oh look, they've got little badges next to their names, so that's cool. It's high voltage, so maybe I'll play some of that on stream. I think maybe my rule for streaming Marvel Snap is that I only stream limited time game modes, because that's what I did last time, and it felt very low pressure and fun. I don't really like the backseat driving, or even the potential for silent backseat driving in the viewer's mind. You know what I mean? I really don't want to. I don't even want to second guess the possibility of being second guessed. That's how I feel about it. And for some reason, with other games, I don't worry about it as much. And like, I don't know, if you're better than I am at one of the other games that I'm streaming, go ahead and tell me what I should be doing differently. But I don't want to hear it in Marvel Snap. Anywho, yeah, I am kind of excited about High Voltage, just because it'll be a way to play the game while I think of what kind of deck I want to build. That I'm happy with my current main deck, but I do need something to alternate with, and I don't know. I'm feeling a little bit bored of Surfer, which is kind of I don't think that will last, because Surfer's fun and there are a million ways to do it, and that's all cool. I just think maybe I'm seeing too many other people playing Surfer right now or something. I don't know, but once everybody else loses interest, it'll become more exciting to me. I don't know. I think the game's in an all right spot, and I've mostly been having fun with it, except when I do stupid things like start just donating cubes 8 at a time. So if you notice yourself doing that on a day, and you catch yourself not doing rational stuff and being smart, do what I did, maybe even sooner than I did, and take a break. That's been my weekend Snap.
Stay frosty, and if you don't, stop playing.
Yep.
Good advice. My weekend Snap was mostly editing, because we put out like 7 or 8 hours of content last week. Holy moly. And I spent, I mean, this is before we recorded, really. Before we recorded 2 of them, but after we recorded Magic, I was sick for half of a week. Anyway, the point is I did a whole lot of editing. Been trying to get my triple double with Frankie Raye. Haven't landed it yet, but I have hope that it's doable. I've done one clip with the Fallen One where I gave my opponent a -1 power Fallen One, so they had no energy on the last turn. Technically, they had 1 energy on the last turn, but they couldn't do anything with it, so that was fun. I did that. Actually, I did that several times, and the first time I pulled it off, my opponent could still play their giant Deadpool, so I lost despite my efforts to take their energy to 0. But then I got another clip where I pulled it off successfully. Yeah, it's been a good week. I've had fun with the game, just mostly knocking out missions if I'm not working on a project like that, and that's fine. There's a new project now, which is High Voltage, and it seems very doable, which is a good thing. I like it when it's not super duper demanding. Yeah, might as well talk about that here. So they said anybody who knocks out the missions twice a day should be able to get Airwalker, which is great because you get missions 3 times a day. And so yeah, I applaud them returning. This is how High Voltage used to be. You only needed 2/3 effort to get the card, and it's back to that. So good for them. And there's a prize at the top. This is what we've asked for. We've said make it have a stretch goal. Sure, there's a premium mystery variant that you can get if you do every single mission and you play a whole lot. But you don't have to do that to get the card. So I'm happy. Let's move on. Do you have any new thoughts on the last week's card, Frankie Raye Nova?
Still think it's profoundly mid.
Yeah, it's okay if you don't.
Yeah, I haven't gotten, so I don't have it, but I have gotten it in some random card getting shenanigans, and other stuff, and it's just hasn't seemed that great, but I haven't gotten to play with it myself. I feel like I could do something with it, maybe.
Oh, you definitely could. She's a hand buff card. Yeah. I don't have anything new. She's fine, but I said that last week. So, okay, this week's card, the Fallen One, a 5/5 on reveal. Set your max energy equal to this card's power. Did you get it? Have you played it? Have you played against it?
I have played against it, but it took a while. I've noticed this with recent card releases. I'm very often not having my never before seen moment until Wednesday or Thursday. I don't know if that's because people aren't excited about the cards or if there aren't as many people who are getting the new release cards and playing with them all the time. I also know that not everybody's into building decks and stuff for themselves. There are so many factors that I don't know, but I used to see the new release cards on the day of release. If you play for an hour, you're going to see the new card, right? That used to be the norm, and that is no longer as much the thing.
I think it's got to be in part because there's so many cards coming out, right?
Oh, yeah.
We talked about this.
For sure.
So it's not just the problem of fewer players or people being, pickier or whatever. It's have they even played the cards they already have?
They don't get to be as special.
And maybe people are being pickier about the ones that seem important to get.
Yeah, waiting. That's what I've been doing. I stopped once I stopped having enough tokens to be collection complete. I'm I'm not gonna open anything up till I feel like I really need and want to. They said, I'm still out here trying to mess around with some other new cards I got that I haven't played. So,
so Lauren, you definitely got Stardust, or not Stardust, the Fallen One, right? And Raye, you also you're not a Fallen Oneer. We're still Risen. You and I. All right.
And old. Yeah.
Yeah. I still from past splurges have tokens to last me a while, so I'm just gonna keep being collection complete. But even if I was being picky, this is a card I would get because it's a fun combo card. I definitely overrated Fallen One, and I knew when I did it. I think I said both on Twitter and here that this is a risky 4-star or first place that I'm giving this one. The thing is, I knew you'd be such a threat if you're going into the last turn and you have heaps of energy, right? But an opponent who really cares about cubes is just going to retreat in that scenario, right? It's Mr. Negative and Jane Foster. Like, you don't stay when it's that clearly lopsided of a match, or it's, the turn 5 Galactus. So it doesn't have to be that way, right? Like, you can just play this card like a little bit early or with a small buff, and then it's much more practical, easier to pull off. People are less likely to retreat, and that's still a strong thing to do. Like, I saw Safety was using it basically to use 2 tech cards on the last turn. You get to run Shang and Juggernaut, for example.
But he does not have any kind words to say about this card, even though he has tried to use it.
Right. I think that's the wrong way to use the card, because you could just use Sarah for that. And Sarah doesn't need support. She doesn't need to be ramped. She doesn't need to be buffed.
Yeah.
Right?
But then what is the right way to use this card? Is there one?
That's the thing I haven't really figured out yet. I have mostly, besides silly stuff, I've mostly been playing him in a Nimrod deck, and it kind of reminds me of my experience with Nightmare, where it's like, he's a fine backup plan, but like, if I have Shuri or Symbiote Spider-Man ready to go and I have Nimrod in hand, I want to play the Nimrod, not the Fallen one. Like,
yeah.
Now, if you do play a big Fallen one, like Symbiote Spider-Man and a Fallen one, you have 13 energy on the last turn. There's a lot you can do with that. You can play like... you can play like Shuri, Nimrod, and destroy it once or twice, especially if you have Kid Omega. Like, there is stuff you can do that's extremely bursty. You can play Panther and Zola both on the same turn. But, like, I don't know.
It's a lot of cards to get together, the right ones, It just seems like a tall order.
Well, and kind of like Nightmare, like, you need a plan for when you don't have Fallen one. So I think there probably is a deck there. I think it's a super fun card, but it's not a very strong card. The thing that I was most impressed with it actually was like Surge, because then he's a 4/6, and that's
what's always seemed like the best version of like. But like, that can't be the it just doesn't seem like enough to like build a deck around. The dream of playing the 4/6 Fallen one.
And then he's Wiccan. You get +2 energy for 2 turns.
And you probably could have built a Wiccan deck with
Let's be fair, though. Everything through Surge glasses is looking pretty good, right? You're like, what if it costs 1 less and has 1 more power? And you're like, way better card. I would be way more.
You're not wrong.
Like, Surge is great because you can play Surge with a bunch of cards that would also be fine if they didn't get hit by Surge. That's been my Surge strategy, is just play Surge with cards that you wanted to play anyway, the normal way, and then if they are -1 cost and +1, then but like, if they aren't, you don't go home weeping and all that.
I feel like Surge is the new Jeff in that way, and that it just really slots into anything, because like anything benefits, but you're never usually not like tied into it,
I sort of hoped that nerf would be enough to discourage more people from playing her, but I haven't really noticed.
But they nerfed Mr. Fantastic First Steps also,
increasing the necessity of running Surge. So I'm still enjoying 2/1 Surge, I will say.
It is just you do not play cards for a 1 location interaction, but Fallen 1 and Project Pegasus is a very fun interaction. I have played Fallen 1 on turn 1. That's fun. That's your +4 energy for the next 5 turns. I don't know why my opponent didn't retreat. Probably because I'm low infinite, and so people are just playing for fun.
Yeah, but also, what are you going to do with all that energy?
You have to have a big deck to spend that much energy.
What that says to me is like, well, their Red Hulk is going to get pretty big, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a weird card.
It is a weird card.
I'm rooting for it. I've seen 1 or 2 people call for buffs, and I'm just like, I don't think so. I think this card's going to be
I think that's dangerous. Let's not do that.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it's good enough. Or sorry, I've seen people calling for nerfs. I said buffs, which means something completely different. I bet there are more people calling for buffs on this card, but I agree that's dangerous.
Okay. Well, I stand by what I said when I thought, okay, yeah. Don't buff this card. Let other cards come out that give this card something better to do. We don't need to change the numbers. I think these are the correct numbers for this card. 5/5.
As soon as he can support himself without synergy, it starts getting like stepping on toes of, say, Wiccan, for example.
I think the game gets smaller if you make this card too good.
I was trying to think, like, what is the thing you do? Because, like, if you have a ton more energy, you can play a bunch of 1-costs. That's not something that Sarah helps you with. So it's like, is there something there?
How do
like,
you get a bunch of 1-costs?
Yeah, like, have you just been passing the last 5 turns so that,
I don't know.
I have no idea. Anyway, moving on. Firelord and Airwalker. We'll talk about them next week, even though they're technically available right now because they just, High Voltage just barely started. Vibe check on next week's card. 5/7 Cosmic Ghost Rider. On reveal, remove the text from front row enemy cards here.
I remember the hate you spewed at this card. I was kind of like,
I hate it.
And then you guys are like, no, it's the worst thing ever. And I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, I really do.
Get it, though. I see it.
A 5/7 to do what? Like, if we want to be complaining about cards with no proactive uses or whatever, like. Speaking of which, I've got another point why Merlin and Stardust are best friends. It's a lot of fun to polymorph a Stardust after your opponent has gotten used to the rule. And you can do tricky things that way. All right. Anyway, point is, but cards with no proactive uses, yes, 5/7 Cosmic Ghost Rider. You're really counting on them having something in the front row that you really want to wipe, and there's not a better way to do it with like Enchantress or Red Guardian or so. I don't. I just don't see this card even a little bit.
Red Guardian is evidence. There's lots of things that are fun to hit, but like
Red Guardian is evidence that 3 costs are good.
But Red Guardian's was a 3/5, right?
Yeah,
when in his heyday, and this is a 5/7,
which is 4 and still perfectly fine.
I see a lot less Red Guardian now, but yes,
it's true.
Probably
that's because 3/5 is pretty magical. That's a stat line right there.
I'm sure I said it with the Ghost rework, but I think that is such a weird thing to do with Ghost Rider coming up.
Wouldn't even let her be 3/5. That was so strange.
Well, it's not. Ghost Rider could have been relief for end of could have been the release valve for end of turn being too strong. Also happens to hit Invisible Woman first steps, but
would it have been?
Ghost came in and stole some of that thunder. Cosmic Ghost Rider is even worse than he was. Not that you should be running Ghost.
That's the thing. I think Ghost has proven that it's not good. So, like, I think that the same thing would have happened with Cosmic Ghost Rider if Cosmic Ghost Rider were the release valve for end of turn front row cards. Whatever. I just don't think this was ever going to be good, Ghost or no.
I don't know. I feel like maybe it's just the D-list character I want to invite to my team to finally take Bullseye.
Let
me take out a Deken. Let me take out a Bull. I just want to destroy Bullseye. I don't care what it costs me. I don't care if it hurts me. I just. Yeah.
That's a matchup where Cosmic Ghost Rider matters for sure. All right, now we're going to talk about this week's patch. It's kind of short on content, as patches tend to be ever since they stopped being about balancing. They added Spotlight variants and Series 3 cards to the card shop. I don't know why this took them so long. Like, they've been saying in Team Answers forever, like, it's coming, we just aren't really sure what we want to do with Spotlight variants yet. And it's like, they're in the shop for tokens. Like, maybe this took a lot of dev time. I don't understand how it could. I'm
sure the discussions were heated and full of pros and cons. And I don't know, it sounds pretty simple to me too. Yeah.
It's a good change.
Don't people want things to spend tokens on? Isn't this a problem for people who have like an unspendable quantity? I mean, like I've got a lot of tokens, but like I think I'll find things to do with them over time. But like there are people who are sitting on mountains of tokens.
Mm-hmm, hundreds of thousands or even over 1 million I've seen. And this is like, you know, the bigger spenders. But if you don't give these players a token sink, then any bundle that has tokens in it is like way less valuable to them because the tokens are basically meaningless. They're never going to be able to spend them. So it's nice to see more token things added, but there's not an endless supply of Spotlight variants.
No, they are finite.
We'll talk about it in a second, but there's new conditional bundles coming, and this is where they're putting the new special variant. It's a paid card. So like they just did it. Fallen One is the first one. If you got Fallen One within the first week, there's a bundle that you can buy exclusively that ranges between $10 and $20 randomly. That's its own issue. That lets you get that variant, but it's not a Spotlight variant. They did say like they'll be available later. We don't know how yet. We don't know how long, but they'll be available later, but they're not Spotlight variants. So what is it? What was last week's card? Frankie Raye Nova. She's the last Spotlight. So eventually these players with heaps of tokens are going to have every Spotlight variant if that's something they care to do. And then what? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully they come up with something else to do with tokens for those people.
Yeah. They need to.
Yeah.
There is one Spotlight variant. There might be a few that could convince me, but there is one specifically that I want. It was the second Nico Minoru one. I have like 2 or 3 Nico Minoru Spotlights, and I don't have the second one. It's the one that's like from behind and it's her face close up.
I think I might know that one. Yeah.
It's really cool. And I skipped that one because I got the first one, which was like the Night Forged one. And I'm like, it was the wrong choice. I've been rocking the Peach Momoko lately. And then
that's what I used.
Yeah. There's lots of good Nikos, though. Let's be real. They added
also some that I make a face about, but you know.
Yeah. They added new featured sets, X-Men and Destroy cards. I feel very mad about these.
Are so expensive. What's the point?
They're 5,000 tokens, so it's like I think that they're priced wrong for sure. I think they should be closer to a collector's pack, or maybe just match the collector's pack. They should be an exciting deal. But you know what? They have the data on how those things are selling. Maybe they're doing fine at 5,000 tokens. And then we have the conditional bundles that we talked about. And there's a bunch of these. There's like hitting Infinite for the season. There's hitting top 5,000. There's completing the season pass, getting to level 50. And they're basically all cosmetics. I've seen a lot of negativity about these. I'm mostly okay if they are trying to monetize cosmetics, but I also think like hold this feature until you have an exciting feature to launch alongside it. Yeah. How hard is that to manage player sentiment by having something fun come out with your monetization features?
Also, specifically the top 5,000 thing for the white fire borders, like I don't love this. Like, well, get good. Like what? That should not be the message from the. I don't like. You should be able to buy the things if you have the money and the inclination to buy the things. Like I don't like. Don't get me wrong. When I lost like 150 SP, just throwing away 8 cubes the other day, I did knock myself out of the top 5,000. But I was like feeling bad. I'm like, am I depriving someone else who really wants these borders of the opportunity to buy these borders by being in the top 5,000? Like somebody's excited about borders, right? It's not me, but like they're out there, right? And like, why should they be gated from like getting borders just because they didn't grind it out or whatever? Like that just seems.
I think it's interesting.
Like, you're not good enough to buy our fancy borders. Like
it doesn't bother me as much since they're like cosmetics and not even super important ones, right? It's not like it's an exclusive variant of a character that somebody might really care about but isn't able to hit 5,000.
But also then if you do get 4 of them and you want to complete the set, then you've got to finish top 5,000 like every season for like 3 months, and I just don't
and spend $60.
Yeah. I mean, like, I won't be doing it, but also, is this even smart for them? I mean, they seem to think so. I just, there's a lot of it that, like, what's good about it? I just don't, I don't know. I don't see the reason to do it this way. And it does seem, I don't know, a little bit, I struggle to articulate. Yeah, I don't like the developers saying, like, well, you're a scrub, so you don't get to buy the nice borders. Like, it's just not, I don't know. Something
there are so many other nice borders available. I understand that you're not into that, but I'm much more bothered by the exclusive variant thing, that it's random if you get the $10, $15, or $20 bundle. And that's like, that's not something that you can earn. It's just, sorry, if you wanted this variant and you rolled, bad RNG on your bundle, then you get the $20 one instead of the $10 one.
But think of all those boosters you get for the value. Oh, wow.
An extra border. Yeah. I saw online Griffin said it was A/B testing, so maybe it's impermanent. I don't know.
I hope so.
Raye?
Okay. So my thoughts about this are that I get where people are upset. I get it's the argument that cosmetics are what we want to be monetized. But once again, it's like when we see things like there's so many bugs, new cards are releasing without animations. Like, I'm so bummed I don't have the gold to get the Proxima Midnight bundle just because I wanted a variant, because they haven't released a non-spotlight variant for that card, like, ever. So
I've got a Dan hit, and I think that's about it.
Oh, did they finally? Maybe they did finally release a Dan hit for Proxima Midnight? Okay. But yeah, so it's been hard to get for people who didn't have the spotlights, and it's like I didn't even particularly care that much about this variant. I've just, I've gotten a split before I even have a variant anyway. So there are all these things with the game that aren't delivering up to promises, and when they have news to release, like the one news is like more monetization, you know what I mean? And there's one rule is that, like, whatever the news is to talk about, that's what people will talk about. And there's not, like, we're not doing a new game mode. We're just doing high voltage again. There isn't, like, new content. There isn't, like, a big explosion of fixing problems with the game. It's like the news is that there are new bundles that are only available that, like, you can buy that. Like, nobody's really, for the most part, most people aren't going to be that interested in,
Also,
like.
It's sort of, I feel bad that I interrupted just to bring this up, but like, it kind of reminds me of like the grind to discount thing with Kid Omega. Like, this is grind to get into the store. Like, that seems, something about that is not what I think they should be doing. I don't know. Maybe it makes sense for them. Sorry. Raye, you were saying something.
But you're right. If this was like, we wouldn't be talking about it at all if this were a side note in an interesting patch of things we were excited about or new things. Instead, it's like, this is the news. Other than that, Snap is the same, which Snap being the same isn't something people are super happy about. So I get the argument. Well, it's like, yes, this is what we want them. Honestly, though, it doesn't really, I don't know. It doesn't seem like that many people are going to, like, spend that much money? Supporters? Yeah, I don't know.
Are they selling it to the other, like, 4,999 people? Because, like, that's the only way it makes sense, is if everybody else loves borders way more than I do. And I don't think they do. I don't know. I
was a fan of when they did that, like, here's a $5, like, fun variant that everyone can, like, get. I would throw my money at those little $5 bundles that they never do anymore, ever. Not even for their anniversary. Like, they used to do that to be like, hey, thanks for being a great community. Instead, they're like, how would you like to pay us $20 more because it's our birthday? Anyway, so, yeah, so I get that it's a bummer. And it's like, I get why people are upset. And it's like, if this is the only news to talk about, like, then that's on them, because this is not fun news to talk about.
Yeah, and maybe it's for casual players. Like, they're the ones who are going to spend the money, and they're the ones who don't follow the news closely and don't read the patch notes. Like, I don't understand it.
Casuals.
No, you're right about that. I think the top 5,000 one is unique, and it will be for people who do want to, be sweaty and prove that they were successfly sweaty. Right? If you have a deck full of white, if you have a deck full of white fire borders that says something,
it says something and doesn't make me respect you one iota more.
No, I agree. There's no way currently in the game. I mean, if you go to marvelsnap.com and go to the leaderboards, you can look at historical leaderboards. That's the only way to know that a player has historically hit top 5,000, right? Like, I'm fine with them having some kind of cosmetic that like shows off your success, although I don't think it should necessarily. I don't think it should be locked behind money. There are other things in the game like that. The gold card backs. Yeah, you have to be so good to hit those.
Do you ever feel like you're going like incognito when you're not, speaking of like just showing off in the game, when you don't use an infinity avatar, using one of your
I never use an infinity avatar. I've got them.
Oh, really?
I just use default portrait, no shinies on it. I've got the shinies for the default portrait too.
You don't need the shinies for confidence?
I always use the shinies if I have them.
Actually the real fucking, I don't know. Yeah, that's what I think. I think just full stock setup is I don't even use card backs. All of the expression is in the gameplay and the deck.
Like,
and
joyless.
Ben hates fun.
I mean, yeah. There's some speculation, but I don't know. But yeah, I like the nondescript. Nobody avatar.
Do like being incognito? Like, they don't know if I'm good
shield
or not.
Analyst, I guess, is who that is, because you can see like the shield logo in the background. So like they're
shield
probably
dude.
hard at work on the helicarrier or something.
Really, I judge everyone by their avatar choice. Like,
so whether you want to or not, you're being judged.
Someone. Yeah. I'm like, sometimes I'll forget, but never for certain avatars.
I want the only information that they get to be like, I guess they can see my username if they care to read that, and the rest of the information is just the cards that I'm playing and how I played them and stuff. That's how I want it to be.
That's
wise.
And
a fist bump at the end. You can have a fist bump at the end if you aren't an asshole. I've gotten into the habit of waiting now, because a lot of people I was fist bumping a little quicker, but very often I would then see that they were doing rude emotes, and I regretted fist bumping them because they're being either a sore winner or a sore loser, as the case may be.
Anyway, I agree with you, Raye. I understand that there wasn't a new exciting feature ready to go for this patch. I understand the monetization team is a different team than the other teams. Like, that all makes sense to me, but you could just hold these. They could be sitting ready but disabled until you have something exciting to ship with them. Like, they're really
they do that with patch updates. They're like, we won't just update all the cards once. We hold them to sprinkle them in when we feel like it. So
exactly. I don't know. I agree. If this gets people pissed at them, they deserve it. Okay. End of turn doesn't. Fantasticar doesn't apply to She-Hulk anymore. I don't know if there were any other cards it was applying to that it shouldn't have. Like, I never saw anything about Sasquatch, but anyway. The notes say Silver Surfer First Step doesn't repeat twice with Wong, but I think that was the bug, is that it didn't repeat
I found
twice
that confusing. Thank you for clearing that up.
I think they fixed it the other way, so it does, but I haven't tried.
I think you must be right, because like I've been chewing on that and unable to make sense of it, but your explanation works for me. I hope that's what happened.
I've been in the pleb seats of like not having her or seeing her that much.
Yeah, exactly. I can't test it. I was like, what does this mean?
I should have tested her. Like, I did test Nightmare on that Ghost Cards thing that they wrote about, and they changed nothing. I did have an opponent in that match where I tested Nightmare. I had an opponent play Terax on me, and he had an animation. So I don't know if that was the patch or something else, but he has an animation now. He throws rocks to either person's side sequentially. Exactly what you would expect, maybe. And then one more that we pulled out: event timers should now update appropriately when game mode events end.
That
Ridiculous.
would be a nice change, yes. Improvement. I hope that is true. Have we seen that in high voltage? Does it say the right time?
It doesn't have a shop, so that's not a good test. We have to wait for the next big event that has a shop.
But I have found it frustrating in past events when they, tell you stories that are not based on
entirely. Yeah, it's entirely unclear if the timer is for the shop or if it's for the mode. Unless the mode's over and then the timer is for the shop. I do like that the shop's open an extra 48 hours. It just should be clearer. Okay. And then, of course, with a patch, we have Datamines. We got the whole rest of the zombie season fleshed out. We already talked about a few of these cards last patch. We're just going to go over them again. And in the future, I think we won't cover a season unless all of its cards have text and stats. And yeah, obviously they're subject to change. Like, we did see a couple of the androids change, but at least this is something we can talk about. So our season pass card, Zombie Scarlet Witch, 3/2. After you play a card here, Horde +2. Horde is an ability that generates a zombie horde at another location if you don't have one already. So she would generate a 2-power horde. If you already have it, then it just adds power to the horde. The horde is a 0/0 token, so I suspect it's going to be extremely vulnerable to Shadow King.
Yeah.
But not Electra. I was wondering what its energy cost was, but it's 0, I guess. Cool.
Currently a 0/0 in the Datamines.
I think this card is boring, and I'm bored of it.
Yeah, it's we know Angela, and this isn't exactly like Angela. I mean, for one thing, Angela costs 2, which is a huge point in her favor. I'm looking at this card and I'm like, is this even a surfer thing? I mean, like, I like playing Hope Summers and stuff and surfer, and like this seems to sort of ask to be played in a Hope Summers lane, like I kind of, I don't know, like I'm trying to like get excited about this card, and it's not impossible. Like I can find handles to pull on to get into the excitement. Yeah, I think it's interesting, and I think it's kind of cool. I like that it splits power into different lanes. Like, you're filling up this lane and making stuff happen in another, and I'm a big fan of threatening multiple lanes. Yeah, I kind of like Zombie Scarlet Witch. For some reason, I wasn't as excited. Like, she hasn't changed since the last time we talked about this card, right? I think it's just that she has an illustration and looks like a real card now, and I can take her more
I don't know if we had a stat line or not.
I think I remember her being 3/2.
Okay. She's better than Angela is +1, and that makes all the difference, right?
Angela's +1 right now. I hold out hope that they do the right thing and give us good like, they do it every year. Like, for 4 months she'll be good Angela, and for the rest she's bad Angela. That's what we do. That's balance and stuff.
Yeah. I think she's good. You hit her 3 times. She's a 3/8 effectively. Like, and I also think that
now that you've said that, now I'm wondering if she's good, because I'm not impressed by the thing you said.
You don't love a 3/8?
Not that you have to go out of your way to you really have to. Yeah, I don't know.
And she's bad late, but that's a problem that Angela.
She's terrible late. Oh,
and
maybe
Hope
already
also.
Right, but that's the thing. If you're gonna play her in 3, it still feels like for what you want to do with her, you'd rather play like a Hope, like you were saying, stuff like that.
Yeah, but you play her on 3, you play Hope and Kitty on 4. Like, there's something here. She could get much bigger than 3. Put a mover on her. Like, the one thing that I like about her is I don't think she needs any other Horde cards to justify putting her in.
I think you're right.
Like, she totally can go in the Horde deck, but she doesn't have to. Whereas some of the other ones are like, you only belong in the Horde synergy. Okay.
Do we think the Horde synergy will? Well, we should look at the rest of the cards before we get into
there are some that'll be more clear on how they need synergy. Okay, Headpool. This is our super premium season pass. probably. It's not it's super clear with the Datamines, but he launches as an event card, and a month later is a Series 4. So probably. 1/1. When this is destroyed, return it to your hand, then give all cards in your hand +1 power. They cleared up his text to do what we thought it did.
Mm-hmm. But clarity is good. Yeah, I like it too. It's a fun design.
I think, like, Deadpool, right, could use some, like, that deck's been pretty samey for a very long time. This gives it a reason to maybe shake it up, hopefully not in a bad way. And then, I don't know where it's going with, but there's getting to be a lot of little cards you want to destroy, like Uncle Ben and stuff, and it's like, maybe there's some kind of, like, small destroy thing mixed with something else. I don't know.
I think you're onto something. I think he has to go into a new type of deck, because the first 1 or 2 times you destroy him, he's doing more than current Deadpool.
Yeah, but my thought is
after that Deadpool doubles. Deadpool. Like if you're destroying him 3 or 4 times, Deadpool is more power. So I think this goes into like a different type of deck that's a little more I don't know, rounded and not so invested in giant Deadpool.
Yeah, I think that like the connection to Deadpool is more like a cute thematic wink thing, you know, like like you can see how this is related to the classic Deadpool ability, but like I don't think these are cards that necessarily go together in any other way.
I think as someone who has played and recently been playing a lot of Destroyed, I think you're writing off classic Destroy way too much with this. It only costs 1, right? If you get it in, you want to get it in so it gets destroyed after Deadpool, so Deadpool gets the buff from it. But also, like, you're buffing up maybe that death, right? Don't you want like a free death that's going to get big enough to just win a lane by itself that you can play for like 0 cost? You know, at the end, 1 power is really easy to slot in. I think you are too quickly writing off this and just like with some good old other Destroy cards.
No, that's the thing. I want to play this in Destroy. I just don't like to play classic Deadpool in Destroy. I'm like, I want to play this guy, and I still want to keep on not playing the old one.
I could see it with like a Surfer Destroy, maybe? Is that too cute? But like then you have Nova and Killmonger.
I think we should do it for a secret homework assignment. Find out. Like I had so much fun when we
did gets the hits in your hand. Yeah. Okay, let's move on. Our first week Series 5 card, Colonel America. It's Zombie Captain America. But conveniently has a different name in this universe, so he won't work with Sam Wilson's shield. 3/3. Ongoing, your other cards here have +1 power for each turn you've discarded a card.
Very cool.
Really? I feel differently. And it's interesting because we've both played a decent amount of discard, so I'm interested to hear a difference of opinion. For me, once again, you get into the problem I've talked about so many times. Like in a discard deck, the more cards you have that benefit from discard rather than discarding, you can only have a finite number of those because you need to just be able to discard. So a certain amount of your deck just needs to be taken up by the ability to discard normally. And this is like, it's a 3/3 and I need to fill a lane for it, which sure could pair well with some Swarm, I guess. I guess that's my thing. I'm not playing Swarm shenanigans as much. But it's just like, for me, I'd rather play Ling. You know, it's like, that's not going to take a spot from Mobius. For people who are playing Bullseye, they're probably still going to rather play Bullseye and Decan and all of that stuff. So it's like, what is this card replacing in cards that benefit from discarding? And once again, I probably have just overlooked Swarm as I usually do because I've been playing Swarm for a while.
Yeah. I even like in a deck with, say, like Dracula or something, you have like one lane that is not filled. You know, you'll have like Dracula and maybe one other thing in a lane. But then like, I think there could be a busy lane with Colonel America. Like, what's the ceiling on this card? The ceiling on this card seems to be 321. And that's pretty big, right?
Yeah, if you discard a card every turn.
Well, you're not discarding a card the turn you play him if you're playing him on 3, you know.
Maybe not. I don't know.
Maybe Zombie Power Man's out. We'll get to him in a second.
Yep. Yep.
Or Black Cat is in your hand. Like, there's ways.
So I don't
like
think you're going to
most
see 321 like often, but you'll see 318, you'll see 315, you'll see 312. These are all better than 38.
He seems big.
Enough.
But I do think you're right, Ree, that like the turn you play him, you're probably or like just any time you're spending energy for him, you're probably sacrificing a discard to do that.
But I see it with the Colleen and your other little Sif, right? Get them to win a lane. Sorry, what were you saying? Wait, with Blade?
Maybe we play him on turn 4 with Blade, and then you've discarded a card for that turn, and I don't know.
I see it. It does make your discarders more likely to win a lane. Yeah, I can't.
Doesn't get hit by Moon Knight.
And like
you can just play him on the last turn, maybe.
I feel like the first time I looked at it before the show, I was like, familiar Captain America type stuff, but like Captain America does like +1. Like this is like a big number, right? Does Captain America do +2? Am I revealing how little I play Captain America?
+2 only on ongoing cards.
I've never made much time for Steve.
He was +1 when he buffed every card.
Yeah,
that's right.
But he does well. Now that the shield is there with like Sam Wilson, Captain America, all of that, like he's actually playable for the first member. I played him a decent amount now.
Like, I play against Steve. I just don't worry too hard about him.
I think they did a great job buffing him, making him playable. Okay. And then first week series 4 cards, we have Zombie Giant Man, a 5. Actually, let's do Power Man because he's more of a Colonel America friend. Mm-hmm. Zombie Power Man. This is Luke Cage. A 2/4. End of turn. If you're winning here, discard the leftmost card from your hand.
I love it.
I think it's awkward.
I was looking at their Agatha card.
Well, there is that, but I think it's awkward that you don't really get to control him, right? Like if your opponent just gives you that lane, you're discarding a lot of cards. I don't know if it's safe to play him if you don't have like Swarm, APOC, Scorn.
Well, that's the thing. I think you will have those things. I like this card. I think it's neato. I'm not sure if it's good or not. I just know that I like it. I haven't thought that deeply about it, but like I love targeted discard, and even though it's not, I wish it were end of turn, discard the leftmost card in your hand or something. Maybe I don't wish it was that because that might be a little, I don't know. The part that I'd like the least is the if you're winning here, because I just like to know what's happening. I don't like leaving my fate in my opponent's hands in that way. But I think that discarding the leftmost card is a good thing. That's what Redshift does.
I think maybe it could be pairing well with Morgan Le Fay. I once was playing someone who was doing interesting Morgan Le Fay stuff where they were like killing Sinister early. They were doing like a little mini destroy, bringing it back. I was very intrigued. Like, I feel like they were winning and I stayed because I just wanted, what are you doing, honestly?
Yeah.
Maybe this goes into that sort of thing.
I mean, he's good support for Colonel America, right? Like
that too.
Discard a card every turn. It's a good chance of that happening, especially if you invest in that lane.
Also, you know what I like about him? Probably doesn't go in an Invisible Woman first steps deck. I like end of turn cards that aren't friends with the other ones. Good.
I mean, you could do it. You could make an Invisible Woman first steps.
I like that you could do it, and maybe there is something for someone to get really wild with it. Like I like cards that are interesting, and this is an interesting card.
Yeah, make sure you discard your Proxima or hit Scorn a couple times. I don't know. It's interesting. Okay. Zombie Giant Man, 5/3. I think this is Hank Pym. Do either of you know?
Yep.
Okay. So I've seen people be like, we don't have Power Man or Giant Man yet, but like we kind of do. It's Luke Cage and Ant-Man.
But like Giant Man has been like multiple. Power Man is always Luke Cage. Is the thing.
Well, that's what we're saying. I'm trying to remember from the episode who was Giant Man.
It It was
the episode.
Oh, are we talking about the What If episode?
Goliath
or the
in What
Marvel
If, right?
Zombies, like comic event thing from like 2006 or whatever.
I'm pretty sure it's Hank
I've
Pym.
not been that into zombies.
Anyway, Zombie Giant Man. This is the other Week 1 Series 4 card. 5/3 on reveal, Horde +1. Then this gains power equal to your zombie horde.
This is the one that makes it an archetype. Otherwise, a lot of them feel like they could go solo. But this is
Totally.
the one that wants them all together.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting that they're making the synergy card the Series 4. But maybe it's a good choice. Makes it easier for players to opt in if they want to play the Horde archetype.
I'm not
He's
excited
mostly
by
just
it, to be honest.
Big, right? Like, I mean,
Oh my gosh, I was right. 2005 to 2006. Sorry, that's where my mind was. I was like, when did that Marvel Zombies comic come out? And yep, that was the right era.
They've been redoing it like every year since. Like,
No, I'm sure they
come out
have,
with
because
a new Marvel.
that's what they do.
Yep.
it must sell well or something. I
But
don't
here's
know.
the thing: I do remember that there was a zombie giant man in that one, and I think that like that's the thing. Who were? Yep, Giant Man is one of the zombos that attacks the Silver Surfer. Yep.
Yeah, he becomes one of the zombie Galacti, I believe.
Yep, that's
Yep.
correct. Captain America, Iron Man, Giant Man, Spider-Man, Luke Cage, the Hulk, and Wolverine.
Yes, we have some of these characters represented on 2 cards this season.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get to Zombie Galacti. I think Zombie Giant Man is probably good. Like, if you invest in Horde, he doubles all of those hordes. He makes us that Zombie Scarlet Witches after you play a card here. Horde +4. Of course, you're paying 5 energy for that. So, like, you really have to be all in. But I think he will be very big, assuming your opponent hasn't already Shonged or Shadow Kinged your Horde. Oh, that's going to be sad when that happens.
Yeah.
Not my type of card.
I don't like that he costs 5.
Yeah. He is a cool
just
card
don't-
to proc multiple times.
That's true. That's a good point.
He
Because
seems
each time you do
weak.
get the Horde +1 thing, as well as the power gain. I don't know. I think it's cute to do that more than once. Yeah. Still think it costs 5. Ree, what were you saying?
Everything's fun with Wong.
Yeah.
I'm just ready. Like, the next card seems so strong in comparison. Just to like jump us. It's Zombie Mr. Fantastic 2/2. Sorry, I was just reading this for the first
No,
time.
go for it.
We're finished up. And it's like on reveal, Horde +2, and then also activate, give 4 of your created cards +1 power. And it's like, okay, this is already a 2/4, and you get an extra bonus. Like, how is that not too much? Yeah.
I have a big question that might answer that question of how is this not too much. Where are the other 3 coming from? The other 3 created cards.
I don't know, maybe he's a Victoria hand
It's
card.
activate. You know what I mean? So you can do that later when you actually have those cards out, right?
Yeah, but
Yes.
Are you playing like zombie? Like, does this belong in the Horde deck? Is that perhaps? I just
No,
like the whole.
it belongs
the
in a
whole point of the
Victoria
Horde-
hand deck, right?
Or a Zombie
Like,
Galacti deck.
or yeah, somewhere where you
I
just have a
guess.
bunch of like, where the Horde
Maybe-
itself, you're going to get bonuses for being a created card.
Is the Horde thing just like to trick people like me who want the card to make sense with itself?
The Zombie Horde is a created card, so he's a 2/5.
Yes, but it's just one. But the thing about the Horde is that it's always just one. Like, that's the whole point
Yeah.
of the Horde mechanic, is that like
Right.
we're putting all our eggs in that one basket. And he's like, look around for 4 baskets and put 1 egg in each of them. And like the other part of his text says, you love putting all your eggs in one basket. I don't know.
I don't know.
Like,
I see it slotting very well into like I've been playing tons of Victoria Hand Moonstone stuff, and it's like, right, this goes like, sure, I'll give my arrows an extra 1 point of power. You know what I mean? My
probably
K Bishop
right.
arrows, like
I just don't. I find it aesthetically displeasing that it doesn't want you to play the other Horde cards with it.
Yeah. No, I agree. I don't think it does. I don't think it belongs.
I think you're right. It's a good card for like Victoria hand purposes.
Yeah,
it's a 2/8.
Yeah, it's already big. Yeah, like you said, it's a 2/5 to start with, and like that's what you want with your arrows. You want you keep them, you beef them up, but you still keep them under like shungable power. Like you keep them at a 9, so you want to like build them up. I don't know.
Yeah, the floor is 2/5. This is a bit much, isn't it?
But they're pretty okay with making cards be higher power if it's spread across multiple lanes, right? Like, Mr. Fantastic is a 3/7. Dr. Doom is a 6/15. Like, they're okay with that if it's spreading.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, look at the other cards. Just the stat, like, just what you get. It used to be rare to get a 2/4. It's like, 2/4 is big. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this guy does start like 2/4. And, like, the only downside is, I guess, the Mysterio downside that you're taking up multiple spots. It does seem like
another card that will play with the zombie for some like nonsense. Give your Mysterio.
Mysterio would be a great card with this. There's 3 created cards,
and they all count as created until one of them isn't.
I understand why you're not liking the like aesthetics of this card, but I think it's nice that they're letting these Horde cards exist outside of the Horde archetype too, right? Otherwise, we have a whole season where it's like you have to play these together.
At the end of turn season.
I do think that's good.
Right. Whereas we have like Colonel America and Zombie Power Man that are the discard archetype. We have Headpool and Zombie Captain Marvel that are destroy cards. We have one little card getting added for the created card type, which also, I mean, maybe all Horde cards are sort of created because the Horde itself is created, but like Mockingbird will benefit from that. Not Victoria Hand. Okay. And then I don't know what this next one is. It's a limited time event card, but then we have more later. So I don't know if we're going to have 2 limited time events in October, or maybe one of them will be for like anniversary celebrations because we're coming up on the 3-year anniversary for Snap. Who knows? But anyway,
we had 2 cards. We had Mad Thinker and Mole Man, Yeah,
but so we have Hunger one week, and then the next week we have Dum Dum Dugan and Zombie Century. So I think those 2 would be in the same event. I have no idea. It could be 2 events in the same month. They've done that before, right?
Also, what if the Hunger is it wouldn't be because it's not impactful enough, but like, what if it was the champion skill for a Grand Arena champion? It's not, because Horde +3 is not on the level of any of those Grand Arena champion things, but I'm like,
what's the cost?
Datamines limited time event.
It's a 1. It's a 1 cost card. Okay, so the Hunger is a skill. 1 cost on reveal Horde 3.
And we think it's an astral projection freestanding skill card.
Yes, in fact, I'm quite sure it is because it has like 4 or 5 variants Datamined for it already.
Oh, wow.
Fun to play with Joaquin Torres, as we found out.
That was my first thought. I'm like, Horde 6? Yes.
Clea, where you're just pinging them with like 1-drop slots on a Wong. Oh, with Wong and Joaquin Torres, I guess it's just 1. Oh no, then that solves the problem. Because the Flames of Faltine, it's like you just overkill that lane, Like you don't need to also then save the lane or something because you just blasted it to death with Clea's Flames of Faltines. But the problem is, how do you use that setup? You're like Wong, Joaquin, which is super fun when they don't have a way to stop it, to also win another lane, and the answer is the Hunger.
1 cost for power in another lane. Something we haven't already said explicitly, but Raye, you love reach, and Horde is a reach ability.
I was thinking that was the first thing I thought.
Hold the Hunger for the end of the game, and you can control where that Horde pops up.
Yeah, that's an idea. That sounds like a whole plan. I mean, I still don't love the freestanding skill card thing about it, but everything else about it is cool.
I'm like, is Nico's +2 skill the only one that's like explicitly a 1-cost card that can power another lane? I'm Squirrel Girl. It's kind of interesting.
You know, I miss 1-cost Forge. He did exist.
Yeah, that's true. That would have been the same sort of thing. Hey, America Chavez is kind of that. Then another Series 5 card, Zombie Captain Marvel 4/4. Activate, destroy your other cards here to get +3 power for each. Move to a location you're losing. I think the callback to existing Captain Marvel card is super cool.
I don't like that it's a 4-cost activate.
Yeah. That's like a destroy card,
it works for Fantastic Card though, so like maybe this. I mean, I like the effect a lot. The Super Carnage into a move, and like I like that you can activate it on a turn when you spent your energy on whatever else. You know, like maybe playing cards to be destroyed there.
Nimrod, right? This would go perfectly into my deck that I've been playing.
This card seems strong.
Even this is a good Nimrod card.
Right?
Even though
That's
move
what
to
I'm
a
saying.
location you're losing is a little bit. I don't know. It's not as good as the Captain Marvel smart move at the end of the game. You know,
it's not quite as good, but it's really close, especially if you don't have Prio.
I think I mostly like this for the reason that it's a big Venom Carnage thing. That's, I think, the thing I like most about it, more so than the move, which is funny for me, but
it's definitely good as a destroy enabler. Yeah.
I just like a Super Carnage, I think. Seems like a very strong card. I like it.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites this season. Then we have 2 more event cards, probably Series 4. Dum Dum Dugan, who is from, how do we say his name? Dugan?
I say Dum Dum Dugan.
Yeah, that's how
they say it in Marvel Ultimate Alliance.
I'm going to trust that. Dum Dum Dugan, we've talked about him before, but he has a release date now. And then Zombie Sentry 3/4. On reveal, Horde +1 for each of your cards at the right location. Another that calls back to the non-zombie version of this card.
Yeah. I don't think Dum Dum Dugan seems like. I mean, does he go in like
we've already talked about
decks or
Dum Dum.
something?
So we're skipping Dum Dum. He's not a zombie.
Okay.
We're talking about Zombie Sentry.
Sorry,
yeah, I think it's fine but boring. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm not excited to do stuff with it.
He's mostly bad, actually.
Okay.
I just don't.
Yeah, maybe a Surfer Horde thing.
If you stack that lane and play him there, it's a 3/8. Like, and I know I was talking about Scarlet Witch being a good 3/8, but you can play stuff after her. Zombie Sentry has to come at the end.
Yeah, I don't see this card at all.
I don't know. He is on reveal, so you can do shenanigans with that, but like only so many shenanigans, you know?
Yeah.
He's not super big.
And the only like payoff, like the only reason like Horde's like the reward for Horde is just Zombie Giant Man, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like that's the only thing that would make this card better than its numbers that it's telling us. And I just don't. Yeah, I don't see it. I don't think this card is good.
Okay. Last Series 5 of the season, this super weird Zombie Galacti. Because there's a bunch of zombies that eat Silver Surfer and then use the power Cosmic to eat Galactus. And they split his power amongst them. 7/4. Zombie Galacti. Start of game, choose 6 other cards in your deck. On reveal, transform those cards into copies of this.
That can't be real, right? There's almost no way they're going to add more time in the game that like everyone loves because it's short, in the game that has the conquest mode that the people who don't like it because it's long, that they're going to add a card that asynchronously adds, where someone's going to have to wait longer at the beginning of the game. It's got to change.
What? No. I think it's random. Randomly chooses 6 cards.
Oh.
So half the cards in your deck are going to turn into Galacti.
You're going to turn into 7 4s?
Yeah. It's a really weird stat line, right?
Why?
Yeah.
What for? Why this happen? I don't understand.
So, like, one of the obvious things, you have to ramp it out, which is hard enough on its own, but one of the obvious things is Shuri. Okay, so then you get 7 cards that have 8 power, but some of them might still be in your deck, some of them might still be in your hand. You don't know which ones they are. They're going to lose their text.
I just don't see it. Like,
it doesn't make sense.
How do you use this card? I honestly, like, I'm wondering, like, what thing is going to change about this card? How many things are they going to change about? Like, is some element of this card going to be recognizable in the final product? Because, like, I kind of wonder if maybe the answer is no.
Okay. One thing I do like about this, Cerebro 4 is great, except 50% chance that Cerebro is one of the target cards.
Yep.
Oh, and it's actually higher than 50% because it's 6 out of the 11. Anyway.
The wording choose is very weird because, like you said, it sounds like you would not have a choice. It would be the opposite of choosing.
Yeah. Zombie Galacti chooses. One thing that I do like about this card is it is a standalone archetype in a single card. Like, doesn't need synergy designed to work with it, right? There is an existing deck that you can make that is a Zombie Galacti deck. I don't know if it's good, but you only need this one card to open up that archetype. But yeah, it's really weird. You have to buff the shit out of this card and ramp it out.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, so Surge, it's a 6/5. Like, I don't get it either.
I don't think it. Which part of this card stays? Because I don't think it's the 7. I don't think it's the 4. I don't even know if it's the start of game. Choose 6 other cards in your deck. I think the most likely part of this card to stay is on reveal, transform something into copies of this.
Oh, the text is so unique, though.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't even know if it's worth trying to evaluate a card.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how long are we gonna speculate on it when
I refuse to give.
It's hard to even read
a card that doesn't exist and cannot.
I think it is fun, but yeah, weird, goofy, bad, all those things. Okay. November, we don't.
Before we move on.
Yeah.
I just looking at Dum Dum Dugan made me think, is the name of that actor Neil McDonough? And then I realized it is, and I did a quick Googling. He's been blackballed from Hollywood. He claims because he's unwilling to kiss women who are not his wife. I don't know if that's true. I just know that it came up on 3 Google search.
That's what he claims.
It seemed interesting.
I think there are plenty of movie characters who don't kiss on screen.
Yeah, I have to say, I don't think that would be enough to derail your career, but also I'm not even sure his career has been derailed. I've seen him in a lot of things.
Because doesn't seem like he's the leading person that often anyway, which is usually the person who gets to do the kissing.
I saw him as he's the villain in Paul Blart Mall Cop 2. I only
also like, why be it if you didn't want to? I don't know. It's just weird.
Oh, why be an actor?
That's generally part of acting is that you have to like be in situations with strangers that you like as you pretend to have relationships with them.
Yeah, I don't know.
I would like to be an actor, but I refuse. To pretend.
This was just a fun fact that jumped out at me, and I was like,
"Thank you."
Well, my co-hosts deserve to know why I got distracted as soon as Dum Dum Dugan showed up in the show notes. I was like, well, nice. We're not going to talk about him, but maybe we have to.
Okay,
Sorry
just a few other things to call out from the patch. We see names for November's cards, no abilities yet, but it's a Spider-Man season. We have Superior Spider-Man, Spider-Punk, Man-Spider, Spider-Man Noir, Prowler, Ezekiel Sims, the bad guy of Madam Web, Hydro-Man, Chameleon.
I also saw Prowler somewhere.
I said Prowler.
Oh, you did? Okay, I missed it. Also, is that Prowler going to be the Hobie Brown Prowler? Because I don't know anything about what has happened to Hobie Brown since Spider-Man: The Ultimate Guide, the Bible for Spider Lore from 2004. But I know that Hobie Brown was the Prowler, and then I saw the second Spider-Verse movie, and I'm like, oh, I guess Hobie Brown is Spider-Punk. So I don't know what's going on with mantles and names. I mean, I bet we're going to get the Uncle Aaron Prowler. That's I would think so.
There was a Spider-Punk comic recently, because Spider-Verse, of course, got them to release all these different Spider comics, and it was an all right story, but the art was so fun. It was done in that old kind of underground comics. I'm thinking of a specific artist. This is around the time of Harvey Pekar, but there's a well-known artist who started with an R. I forget. Anyway, it's kind of reminiscent of that style. Someone's gonna Scott or Adam or someone's gonna know exactly who I'm talking about. Put me on it, but it was really cool. It's worth checking out for the art, for sure.
I'm a sucker for good art. There's a bunch of themed skills in there. To me, they look like they're themed for Spider-Man. So I'm thinking Spider-Man Grand Arena at the end of October or early November or something. Who knows? And then there's a bunch of silly locations in the patch, 18 of them. Superflow spelled SOUP. Wow. And they have silly abilities. And
those are Deadpool's Diner, though, right?
The best guess I've seen is Deadpool's Diner remake. Maybe it'll be based on having some silly locations in there, which I think would be a delightful change.
Yeah, anything that makes it not regular Snap.
Yeah, a lot of them have abilities that are based on how many times somebody snapped, which that's the Deadpool's Diner thing, is you can snap. Or there are multiple snaps. So
leaning into the distinct mechanics of the mode. That's cool. Good. I like it.
Yeah. So that could be an October, November-y thing too. I would guess end of November, line up with Thanksgiving. They like to do that. Anyway, exciting stuff.
Yeah, that is exciting stuff. I like it when the modes are fun and good and cool and have stuff going on.
I'm glad that they're willing to rework it too. They recognize how much we did not enjoy the experience as is.
Yeah, I'm glad to have not been playing Deadpool's Diner all this time, but also
for real.
I've played a lot of High Voltage, so I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Good zone.
On to our side quest. First up and only secret homework. This week's secret homework is from Ben.
Well, my secret homework was... What's up with Eyes of Wakanda? I don't know if that's the title of the homework assignment, but I was like, hey, let's find out what the deal is with the latest Marvel offering on Disney+. And so we all watched the first episode of Eyes of Wakanda, and I'll even reveal that I watched all 4 of them. And now we're going to talk about it. So if you don't want that first episode of Eyes of Wakanda spoiled, and perhaps I will probably blurt out some facts about other episodes. I'll try not to.
I haven't seen it yet. I've only seen the first episode. Don't spoil it for me.
Then I will speak only in the most vague terms. But so it sounds like you may have interest in watching more episodes. I will say I enjoyed the first episode of, I think I give it one thumbs up. 2 thumbs up is sacred. You reserve that for very special things, but absolutely. I give it a 1 thumbs up for the first episode of Eyes of Wakanda. Shall I say some specific thoughts? Shall I perhaps even summarize the episode? I'm doing it. Try to stop me. Okay. This comes from Wikipedia, right from the wiki's mouth. In 1260 BC, the former Dora Milaje, Noni, is tasked by her mentor Achaea with a mission to hunt down and capture a rogue its-just-rie agent named Nkati, who has defied all previous efforts to apprehend him. Achaea fears that Nkati will share Wakandan technology exposing the kingdom. Calling himself the Lion, Nkati plans to create the Pride of the Lion, an independent state populated by abducted men and women from across the world. Noni allows herself to be captured during a raid on Minoan Crete. After hijacking a ship and freeing the other captives, Noni infiltrates Nkati's deep-sea complex. After surviving attacks from several trained warriors, Noni confronts and subsequently defeats him in a duel. The mortally wounded Nkati triggers a self-destruct device which destroys the entire complex. Noni survives the explosion, and Achaea invites her to rejoin the Dora Milaje. The fiercely independent Noni instead chooses to join the its-just-rie, aka the War Dogs. So I guess I will start with like stuff that I liked about it. I liked the animation. I thought it was pretty good. I didn't think it was like, oh yeah, the extra credit was to watch K-pop Demon Hunters, which I forgot to do. I do intend to rewatch it one of these days though, because I did enjoy it so much on the first one. But yeah, I liked the animation. I liked this protagonist. Unfortunately, she only shows up in one scene in one other episode. Sorry.
Oh, sad. I'm glad
so
to have my
for
expectations aligned. It seemed like it was going to feature her and be all about her. I understand they're going on a one-off. Yeah.
I was like, I want to watch more because I want to see what happens to Noni.
Having seen all 4 episodes, I will say I think I would have liked it better if there were more than 4 episodes. It seemed...
Oh, you're not... This is what I said last week. Don't watch more than the first episode. You're not going to be able to stop talking about the other episode.
All right. Okay. The only other thing I will say is that I liked the second episode. Keep an eye out for Paris. He's my favorite character.
Okay.
Yeah, but I liked the animation. I had some questions about like some plot things. There was a point when some of there was talk of like re-educating some of the Lion's slave women and stuff, and like you'll learn his songs and his stories and stuff. And I'm like, wait, so was Wakandan culture also leaking out when this dude went rogue, or was it just the technology? Because like the show and the subsequent episodes kind of make it seem like it's all about just recovering the vibranium artifacts. But like, if this dude is like passing on stories and things and like songs and epic poems and stuff like about like the history of Wakanda, that also seems like
it that way.
Stuff they would want to keep a lid on. I don't know. I had some questions about plot details and how his slave empire worked and what his the specifics of his God King plans. You know, I don't know. But it's a short show. There's not time to answer all my questions.
Okay, but like what you're saying is exactly interesting to me, because the way I read that scene differently, I read it as he wants to be glorified, right? And it's an interesting contrast in that he has such vitriol for like Wakandan government, right? And for what they're doing. But it's like, in a way, isn't he just rebuilt? He just wants to be worshipped as the God King, the way like the Black Panther is. So like, right, you see that hypocrisy. There's that seed of truth where he's talking about, you know what I mean? Like being free to pick, you know, having freedom and stuff. And then, but that's the part that it's like, but what did you choose to do with that freedom? Enslave others.
Yeah,
like some idea of a greater good. You're building Wakanda again.
Yeah.
Anyway. But worse, because they show at the end. Just sorry to wrap up my thought. They show at the end that you triggered with your discussion. Sorry, just to give this on the fly. It wasn't something I had prepared. Like at the end though, right? Because then they show that her choice in getting to pick the path was presented by Wakanda, right? Was by the organization that was supposed to be the oppressor was the one that like all along was, you know, letting her choose her own path.
Yeah. Noni asked him, like, if it's freedom, why chains? And he says something like, for future generations. And also, like, he somehow explains that chains will lead to their freedom or something. Yeah, it sounded very much like I don't know, culty or like definitely hypocritical. And he
definitely needed to be stopped.
Interesting to have a character with gray morality or
I just think that like in the tradition of previous stuff, like I didn't, how like Killmonger kind of had a point. I did not feel that this guy kind of had a point about like much of anything.
It was very selfish.
He was very like, but they lie to us. They keep us in the dark, secrets and things. But like, I don't know.
But it's in that vein.
Think you articulated that well, Raye. The
hypocrisy like how. Right, the people who are always, like, the way he talks to her, right, who's like, we all, right, like, they want to, like, you're like me, and we both hate this, and, because I felt that sometimes, honestly, a lot of times when you're in, like, the Midwest, like, really racist people just, like, immediately, right out of the, like, announce it, it's like, how is this the first, and kind of a, like, we all, right, and it's like, I'm not.
Like the conspiratorial like turn to you and be like, oh, these,
right? But that's what he's doing with her, right? Like, you agree with me, It's like, she's like, fuck you, like that thing. You look at her and she's never even for a little bit going to be convinced, right? You were looking at the back of her, you're not watching her move, but you've known her character enough to know that, he is just the putz, right? He's not killing. He's not even really charismatic to the degree that he, he's relied on the relics, right? And the Wakandan tech that he is despising for like everything he has. It's not his like natural charisma score that he rolled with his D&D character.
Yeah, he hides behind a cool mask. Also, I don't think this came up in the summary, but Noni, we don't know exactly what happened, but she didn't quit. She was fired from the Dora Milaje for being too much of a reb, just too much of a maverick, blazing her own trail, carving her own path. And so that's why the lion thought that maybe they could be like kindred spirits or something. Or maybe like that's why like you're supposed to think that maybe she's being tempted by this rhetoric. Like you're supposed to be like, is she going to? I mean, obviously not, because like you can tell that her heart is true and like she's got like a sense of justice and stuff and doesn't love people being enslaved. That's the other thing. Like she can't keep her head down when she sees the injustice and stuff. And she's been advised to like not call it like, stick to the mission and don't, blow up your own spot and stuff. But she, I don't know. You should watch it. That's what I think. I thought it was fun. I don't know. Okay. Did we all like it?
Yes.
Do we all give it a thumbs? One or more?
Oh yeah, for sure. I loved it. I'm ready to launch my my thoughts. Are you prepared for that time? Okay. One about the animation. Yes, I honestly really loved. My only complaint, I loved like the very fun, like clean, like not too realistic, just the right amount of stylized like animation against those beautiful painted backgrounds. My only complaint is I kept looking, I'm like, oh, look at those painted clouds. And it's like, if this were me, if I was animating this or this was my game, those clouds would each be on a different layer and I would definitely be moving them subtly in the background. You know what I mean? Like, I would do it, and I wanted it to have, every time I saw it, I'm like, will they do it? I kept looking at their painted backgrounds, like, is this just gorgeous still imagery? Did you have the audacity and the patience and the hardworkingness to make that move? Anyway, they didn't, minor bug. Then, okay, another note, I did get distracted a lot of the show because, like, the boats, like where the lion is, it reminded me so hard. If you've ever played any of the old Dynasty Warriors, there's a battle. It's like the Battle of Chibi, or the Battle of Red Cliffs. Is that the other name for it? But it's like you fight in all these lines of like boats and those little like pillar. Anyway, it's just the whole time I'm like, oh, memories of Dynasty Warriors. I miss that. I miss the old school Dynasty Warriors. Okay. I know there's like a brand new one out, but it's like, it's not the co-op like experience that I had. It's different now. I haven't played it, but I know it's different. Okay. So I loved all of that. And here's what I'm sad it won't continue to follow, but like I got into the Black Panther a couple years back. Ta-Nehisi Coates did, a really long Black Panther run, 2 arcs, and also like a really little mini series that got canceled way too quickly. I'm really sad because I was really enjoying it. It was like Black Panther and the Crew. I recommend that if you've read Ta-Nehisi's run, but you somehow missed out on that little side adventure. And that was my introduction, because like I'd never been like super into the, like a king person hasn't been interested. But Wakanda, right, is someone who loves like epic fantasies and all of that stuff. Wakanda has all that like lore that can go into it, and you can do these interesting things like tell stories way in the past where it gets this kind of fantasy vibe to the storytelling that I love seeing like Wakanda come out. Even in Ta-Nehisi Coates' run, I've said before, the thing I loved most from it was the Midnight Angels, who were Dora Milaje, who left to like go pursue their own causes to better things for the Wakandan people. So I'm all about like expanding on the lore of Wakanda, and like Wakanda's best villains are escaped Wakandans, in my opinion. Like with the I mean, like maybe like Lion's story was weaker than Killmonger's. I mean, it didn't have a whole movie to work him into saying, and it was
this is true. The format is restrictive. The length and stuff. You can only answer so many questions.
Right. So it was more limited, but like in a technologically advanced society, I feel like the most interesting things come from the citizens who want to use that, like how they police their own, bringing up all these questions of empire. Like this is what Ta-Nehisi Coates did in his Black Panther run, was question the whole idea of the monarchy. Like why is this? Why isn't there a democracy? Like, things continue like that, and all that stuff. The world of Wakanda is so fascinating to me. So I was excited. I was wondering that at the end of this episode. I'm like, is this whole thing going to be? I was really hyped for like an arc of Noni's adventures in the War Dogs, but I'm like, this could just be one of those. It's the classic. Like, it's kind of a trope also of telling the story of like the character who gets, inducted into the secret organization, through their spunkery and all of that. So
I will say, I don't know if we've necessarily seen the last of that character, because I do know that this.
You just said she's only in one other scene in the whole thing.
She's in one other scene, but another character in another episode quotes her and puts a lot of respect on her name. Like this is like one of our all-time heroes, director Noni.
Well, yeah.
And that's her rank, which is an interesting choice. Also, I know why they went with director. It will become clear when you see her next appearance. You'll be like, oh, they're doing a cute thing. You gotta have a spy master with a you'll see. Anyway,
you can't help yourself with these spoilers.
I know.
No,
I knew Ben couldn't do it.
I
already told him. He's already like, but when you see her again, she'll be like an aged spy master type who's like either training the new people. It's just like,
I'm sorry, I'm the worst. But
it's
like,
okay, I'm not bad.
It seems like if this is like well received, I know that there are other Wakanda projects in development, some of them animated, and I think that like maybe they're introducing us to people whose further adventures we'll see at other points. Yeah, and without getting specific, I liked the other characters that were introduced in the other episodes, and I similarly felt like I would have liked to see them go on more adventures and do more things. So yeah, I don't know. I think I bet people will enjoy this. I enjoyed it. I give it a recommend. You know what? I will go 2 thumbs up. The more I think about it, the more I'm like, I like all these folks. I don't know.
I don't feel that highly about the first episode. I liked it enough that I want to see more. Like, I watched it on my own, which I was planning to watch it with my wife, but that just didn't work out. But then when I did watch it on my own, I messaged her. I was like, hey, I'd be interested in watching the rest of this. So maybe on your own time, you want to watch the first episode? The animation took a little while to grow on me. And normally I love like stylized animation, but at first it kind of felt like, I don't know, like TV, like
it felt a little
20 years ago. Like it was, I don't know. This is a little
is this Star Wars Rebels animation, or is this like, are we moving up to the next level? Are we trying to do something a little more ambitious, like a Sony kind of thing? You know, your K-pop Demon Hunters, your Spider-Verses and stuff.
Yeah, and I get it's TV, not a movie, but like, yeah, I didn't love it, but it grew on me, and definitely the backgrounds were gorgeous. Although I think Rhee's right; they'd be better if they had some parallax and a little bit of animation going on. Like they do on Marvel Snap cards. That level of animation even would make a huge difference. I'm actually mostly I am not a AAA gamer outside of Nintendo, but like I love Assassin's Creed. And this felt very Assassin's Creed to me, where it's like alt history. There's like future tech in the past, and like those vibes are super there. Plus, Noni's just a badass. So like, if you like Assassin's Creed, that was very fun for me. You guys didn't touch on the fight choreography, which I thought was great, and there were some cool things that I felt like I hadn't seen before. Her taking down the generals and then fighting with the lion. Yeah, so I'm interested to see more. Disappointed that it doesn't follow Noni, but, the other episodes could be interesting following other characters.
Regarding the Assassin's Creed similarities, I didn't realize when I started watching this, or even when I continued watching this, that there were only 4 episodes. So I got to the end of the 4th and I was like, oh, is that it? But yeah, we're doing a little bit of Wakanda Assassin's Creed. Do you suppose that maybe the Wakandans were involved in some historical conflicts that we wouldn't have guessed? Yeah.
It's a cool idea.
No, it is a cool idea.
If they just wanted to totally lift that from Ubisoft, I think that's reasonable.
It's hardly
and Wakanda
a unique
seems like
concept. Like even there, like
but Wakanda's technology and secrecy that fits in.
Mm-hmm. This is unrelated, but this reminds me how angry I was when it's like, oh, they're making it a big open world Avatar game, and then you find out it's the fucking Avatar, like blue alien movies, not Avatar: The Last Airbender. Like, all we want is a big world to be benders in. Why the Avatar blue alien movies? Give us more.
Are you two really into Avatar?
I love Airbender and Korra.
Last Airbender, yeah.
Okay, because me personally, I've seen the live action Netflix show. Haven't seen the M. Night Shyamalan film. Haven't seen the original cartoon. Have seen 3 episodes, the first 3 episodes of The Legend of Korra. So that's it. I've seen 3 episodes of Korra and the live action Netflix show. And
so bummed out.
I am very open to getting into more. So if we ever want to get into Avatar, I could be the newcomer. And you could all take me on a tour of. I have to say, I liked those 3 episodes of The Legend of Korra that I saw. Love
Airbender spin-off podcast. Yeah. I'll tell you up front, people very unfairly hate on Korra, and part of it is that they didn't know they were going to get more seasons, like 3 out of 4 of the seasons. So that kind of like messed up the pacing. But honestly, I loved season 1 of Korra so much more on my second watch of it. Anyway,
it's tough to be a female protagonist with confidence. See,
I thought she was very cool. I thought she was great. I was like,
she's awesome.
I love her, but like, it's like there can be some legitimate criticisms, but there's just always like criticism. There's just
I think most of the hate of Korra basically comes down to sexism. It's like, cool.
Yeah.
If you ever want to find an excuse to make me watch some Avatar property stuff, I'll watch any of it. I love watching things.
Okay. I'm assigning next week's homework. it is going to be a deck building assignment. Maybe. It's more open-ended than that. Historically, we are not big fans of high voltage, and my challenge to you is to try to make high voltage fun for yourself. So this is kind of like a Minecraft sandbox challenge where you have to find the fun. And I don't know what that means. It probably means play a deck that you have fun with. But, try and report back. It'll be too late for people to play our high voltage decks. But I want to hear your attempts. I want to hear your attempts to make high voltage fun for yourself. And, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work out. And that'll be part of the reporting back also.
It'll be a brave new shame-free world for us to explore.
High voltage comes back all the time. So
it is by far the most common event.
Maybe we're giving you decks for next time. Maybe that's secretly the thing.
It'll be interesting to see how this tech ban list experiment goes for sure. Okay. We just celebrated our anniversary last week. If you haven't listened to bonus episodes and you're interested, please do. We played a tabletop RPG called Magic, where we're doing a magical heist with models DMing for us, MMMing for us. And then we also played Zabu with KM Best.
Mobiusing for us.
Mm-hmm, that's what it stands for. It's a Marvel Snap podcast after all. Zabu, which is Snap-themed taboo. We played that with KM Best and had a good time. It was meant to be in the main episode, but it went too long. Anyway, totally cool if you don't listen to those, but they aren't time sensitive. So, when you get the chance, they're fun if you like our chemistry or whatever. Anyway, if you like what you heard, like, comment, subscribe, follow, review, etc. All the things, if you haven't already. If you want to come chat with us on Discord, we have our little corner of the Snap Judgments League Discord, which we call the Speakeasy. The instructions to get there are in the show notes or video description. It's fun to hang out there and to see other people's secret homework and stuff like that. Yeah. And we're all in there, so you can chat with us. Proudly part of the Snap Judgments Network. That's why we're attached to their Discord, where you can listen to other great shows like Snap Judgments, our grand pod, where Pulse Glazer and Roy hang out with guests every Saturday. Saturday is when it ships. I don't know if that's when they record. In fact, I know it's not. Anyway, tune in next week. See what we think of high voltage, if we manage to make it any fun. And we'll be doing rankings for the Android season next week. Same Snap time, same Snap channel.
Yeah.
My board game retreat is in a couple of weeks.
Ooh, exciting.
I am trying to get...
any?
I'm going to try and actually see if I can get a small, magic. Like I said I would do.
Yeah.
But I only had 2 people say for sure they would do it. And I'm like, I think I want 4, so we'll see.
Might need a little more.
Yeah, you can knock it out in just a couple hours. Come on.
Right? Yeah.
Also, it's so funny that you mentioned the Avatar thing, because I was actually going to bring up that possibility unprompted. At some point today, this notion that hey, I think I've heard them mention that they like that Avatar stuff, and I know that everybody with good taste likes that Avatar stuff, and I even liked the live action Netflix show, which probably isn't even the best version of it. And I'm very open-minded. I am ready to be converted to full-on Avatar fandom.
Start watching.
If we want to make a podcast of it, I've been saving it kind of specifically for that possibility, because it does seem interesting and exciting, and you both seem to have genuine passion for it, and I like good things, and enough smart people have told me that it's good, but I'm like, hey,
it's very good.
It just came out at an awkward time when I was not really watching Nickelodeon, and I was like, what is this fake anime?
I didn't watch it as it aired. I watched it later as an adult.
And that's the thing. Everybody who watched it later seems to love it. And I'm like, I should be one of those people who watched it later and seems to love it.
Yes.
You can also,
I want to be them.
Make use of the, that's rough, buddy. It's my favorite.
Yeah, there's some.
I feel bad when someone's saying misfortunes and I'm just waiting till I can. That's rough, buddy.